Thank you, Charlie, for your talk. And are there any questions? Liz has a question. This is actually a setup question.
Well, I actually have the question, so I don't know how much of a setup, but okay, so I am probably not alone in this. In fact, I know I'm not, but one of the things with religion is the hierarchy, and that's kind of something that was a real important part of me leaving the religion I was raised with. Yet I find the hierarchy even in Buddhism. And so I didn't escape it. And so I don't know, as I said, maybe I'm an anarchist, but hierarchy, it just seems to cause, and I have seen it cause some real issues. Yet without the hierarchy, you don't have the building. And I'm not able to practice. So that's a hierarchy. What can you say about it?
Thank you for your question. So the reason this is a setup, by the way, Wenda, could you make the lights a little brighter? The reason this is a setup, see, that was the hierarchy in action. The reason this is a setup is that Liz and I were at an online Sangha meeting this morning where people were talking about what it meant to take a certain level of precepts and take on a certain responsibility. And Liz said, I'm uncomfortable with hierarchy. And I immediately put in the chat, will you ask about that? It's on Sunday. Yeah, so that's why it's a setup. So yeah, hierarchy. So why do you make it hierarchy? And I don't mean you, Liz, make it hierarchy. We all make this thing called hierarchy. This thing called hierarchy is not necessary. However, what is necessary is that certain things get done, and you need people to do those things. And in particular, in a spiritual practice, you need to vet the people who are going to help other people practice. There are all these self-proclaimed gurus and stuff running around. There always have been. I mean, one of them just caused this awful thing in India where, a guy in India who proclaimed himself some kind of guru without much training, all these followers, and then there was this horrible stampede and all these people died, So, but if you've ever been in a supposedly completely non-hierarchical organization, like I was in Al-Anon a long time ago, and the thing about Al-Anon is you can't say why you were in Al-Anon because then you're outing somebody else, so just take it for my word. I was in Al-Anon, and or maybe you've been in AA or, any of those organizations like that, and they have this idea that there's no hierarchy, and in a certain sense it's true, no one has any titles, but there's always leaders. There's always the person. I can remember very specifically the two people who were really leaders of my Al-Anon group. One of them was a named professor at KU, and the other was, just a sort of working class woman who, she was actually my sponsor. She was really great. And so very different kinds of things, but they were the leaders. Someone has to step forward and lead. And so what you have in most spiritual traditions is you have a way of vetting those people. You have a way, you can never guarantee, Lord knows. I mean, there's all these, horrific stories of sexual abuse and stuff by religious leaders in all kinds of religions. I don't think there's anyone that's exempt. And you can't guarantee that you'll be right, but you want to sort of have a way of training people and then acknowledging their training so that you say, yes, this person is ready to take this level of leadership position. So that's how I see the so-called hierarchy in Zen. I mean, this title is Zen Master. You can't have a better title than Zen Master. Whoop-de-doo, what does that mean? Okay, what's my job? That's the question. So I was approved for a certain job. And it took, I won't say it took a lot of work because I wasn't working to get the job, but all of us in practice, we know how hard practice is. We know how much work it takes to do practice. And then at some point, you're ready to start helping people in certain ways. Maybe you're ready to give beginners instruction. Maybe you're ready to start, organizing certain things or teaching certain classes or whatever it is. At a certain point, you're ready to step forward in a kind of leadership. But a lot of people think they're ready to step forward, and they're not. And so, and then also, conversely, there are a lot of people who don't think they're ready, and they are, and then my job is to encourage those people to say, yeah, have you really thought of, doing whatever? So what, Liz, what you're seeing as a hierarchy is actually a way of trying to our best to ensure that the people who are taking on certain responsibilities are ready for those responsibilities. And then you have these titles because people can recognize. Also, you have long robes and short robes, and the brown bibs and the not brown bibs and all that kind of stuff. That's a way of signaling, oh, you can pretty much trust this person to help you in whatever way they're authorized to help. So that's how I see it. I don't see, like, oh, this person's a senior Dharma teacher, and this person's only a Dharma teacher, so this person is worth more. No, it's not like that at all. It's just you're taking on different jobs. And certainly, just because you have a certain authorization, it doesn't make you better than anybody else. All in life, there are all these people. I mean, if I take, my car to an auto mechanic, I have no idea how to fix my car. Absolutely no idea. So I take it to an auto mechanic. And the auto mechanic, he's certified. He's a certified auto mechanic. Or she is a certified auto. In this town, I don't think there are any women, but, the auto mechanic is certified. They are able to fix your car. That doesn't make them better. That doesn't make them worse. They're just certified to fix your car. So that's how I see. That's how I see. What you're seeing as hierarchy, I'm just seeing as levels of certification. Oh, this person is ready to do this. This person can change a tire. That person can fix an engine, That's how I see it. And then you need some kind of external authorization to make sure that the person, well, you can never make sure because there are always these, afterwards people blow it, but as best as possible to try to ensure that the person has the basic skills that are needed. So that's how I see hierarchy. Yeah, when when you get to certain levels, people start bowing to you, and I was so uncomfortable with that at first. I was just so uncomfortable with that, and I would bow back. And then, and when I say bow, I mean the full prostration deal. And then finally somebody said to me, they're not bowing to you. They're bowing to the position. They're acknowledging the position. They say, oh, okay, I'll let them bow to me, So, yeah, so that's really important, that no title makes anyone special. But certain positions have to be filled. And hopefully the people filling them, as much as possible, try to ensure that the people filling them are prepared to do the work. So no hierarchies, just responsibilities, okay? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we have a level of precepts called Bodhisattva precepts. That's the maximum number of lay precepts. So first you take 5, then you take another 5, so you've taken 10, then another 6, you've taken 16. And those are the ones with, 10 and 16 are the ones that have job responsibilities. And then you can take another 48, and at that point it's up to 64, which is the maximum for lay people. And we call them Bodhisattva teachers in our school, but they have no special jobs. It's just like, it's sort of like, it's like when you're married and then after 30 years you want to reconfirm your marriage. It's sort of like that. You want to really, reconfirm your relationship to the practice. And so a friend of ours, Dennis Durmeyer, who's a teacher in our school, when he was about to take 48 precepts, he said that he would write an essay called Bodhisattva Teacher, Fraud or Sham? Because there are no duties connected to it. It's just, you just get a funny ceremonial, casa thing. But anyway, so thank you very much for your question. Yeah. And yeah, a lot of people struggle with this notion of hierarchy, but just don't have a notion of hierarchy. It's just, what's your job? Then there's nothing to struggle with. So thank you. Are there any other questions? Yes.
So going back to Charlie's talk,
So going back to Charlie's talk,
about finding, I don't know, you said your or our or the true self, and that's what our practice is about.
so our practice is about finding the true self.
So we've got like so many people here. I mean, could you say something about that so it's not so esoteric or
So could I say something about the true self so that it's not so esoteric?
something you're going to get in the future?
And it's not something you get in the future. Yeah, so your true self, this can be a very misleading phrase, which is why you asked me to talk about it. So it's not that there's this little marble called your true self that we carry around with us, and that maybe when we die, goes up to the Tushita heaven, or the hell of bright swords or whatever. Buddhism has its fabulous hells and heavens, but they don't last very long. You're just in them for a while. So your true self is not like this little marble of essence that we carry around with us. Everything is originally empty. So that means your true self is empty. Your true self does not belong to you. It is not different. Your true self, sometimes we call it Buddha nature. And Buddha nature is a little better because it doesn't have like that, pronoun your, that possessive pronoun. My true self is my true self. Not like that. So our true self, sometimes called Buddha nature, this is the essence of all beings. The essence of my water bottle. So to cut through all the stuff that we identify with, just cut through that stuff. When you've cut through that stuff, that is your true self. So your true self is not your true self. It's not different from any other being's true self. But your true self is what remains when everything else is cut through. So all our ideas, I must wear my glasses or I can't see. It's true, if I don't have my glasses, I can't see, But that's not my true self. My true self is not that. My true self is not how much money I make. It's not where I live. It's not my relationships, my position in life, how tall I am, how short I am, how fat I am, how thin I am, my health. That's not my true self. So we have this question in our practice, what am I? What am I? And I remember when I started, this great question, and when I started practicing, I remember, I think, okay, if I lost a finger, I'd still be me, right? Yeah, I'd still be me. Okay, what if I lost a hand? Would I still be me? Yeah, I'd still be me. I'd go down this list of sort of body organs. At what point do you stop being you? Which was really dumb. Everybody dies, right? I mean, we can't hold on to this body. We can't hold on to our situation. It's constantly changing. So what is this thing that's completely empty, including of emptiness, this thing that we're calling true self or Buddha nature, whatever you want to call it? What is this ground? It's really the ground we walk on. It's the thing that animates us, even though it's not a thing. So what is this? That's another way of asking the same question. What is this? What am I? So there's no answer to this. I can't say, oh, your true self is a nah, 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 nah. You know, you can't answer like that. I can't say, oh, here, this is your true self, and then, you know, this is your true self right here. You know, you can't do that. What is it? From where do we function? And what is the direction of our life? So that's what we're talking about. And it's before speech, as Charlie said, it's before speech, it's before thinking, it's before any concepts. It's more fundamental than that. So when I was in Al-Anon and they talk about a higher power, and I would say, it's my lower power. It's my lower power because it's what I stand on. It's what supports me. So what is it that supports all of us? That's the question. And we have this wonderful teaching. My teacher, Zen Master Songsan, he would say, I don't teach Buddhism, I only teach don't know. So this don't know is what cuts through. Whatever conclusion we come to, you just use this don't know, because the conclusion is never final. So just don't know, don't know, don't know. So you look at everything with this mind of don't know. And this is not a mind of stupidity, I don't know. That's not what it is. This mind of don't know just sees very clearly, without preconceptions, without any ideas of how things should be, or of how things should not be, or how they are, just seeing very clearly that mind, this don't know mind that we talk about in our school. So I hope everybody keeps a strong don't know and attains their true self, manifests their true self, because that's what our true self really is. So Wenda, I'm going to set you up. Ask me a question. Ask me, what is your true self?
What is your true self?
Hi, Wenda. Okay? It's like that. Okay? So, thank you. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, we have time for another question. Yes.
Can you talk about, would you talk about our mudra and the significance of our mudra we use?
The significance of?
Our mudra?
Okay, so I've been asked to talk about our mudra and its significance. So it's hard to do this, but our mudra, it's supposed to be down here, like this. This is our mudra. So left hand over right, and thumbs touching. Yeah, you can all see it on the screen, isn't that cool? And thumbs touching, and the question is, what is the significance of that? So I'm going to talk for a second without moving the screen up. You notice that it's like a little egg, and it's sort of, it's surrounding 2 inches below your belly button. That's a tian in Chinese, tanjin in Korean, and for some reason in Japan it's called hara. So this is your energy garden. This is a big energy center. There are lots of nerves there, by the way. It's almost like a second little brain that you have down there. So that's your tian, and you're surrounding it. And that means that you can keep your energy focused there. So you don't, when you're practicing, you don't want your energy in your head. That's called thinking. You don't want your energy in your upper chest. That's called emotions. You want it down in your center. So a lot of times when we're sitting, our energy seems to rise up, and everybody has experienced this, right? You start thinking about something, you're planning something, you're, I don't know, writing a scholarly paper, or, you know, figuring out what to plant in your yard, you know, this stuff comes up. Or maybe you're going over, you know, some kind of thing that happened to you that was terrible, you know, something, you know, you're getting a divorce, or, you know, your beloved is sick or whatever it is, and you're going over and over these things in your mind. And then, you know, that your energy goes up, right? It goes up to here, it goes up to here. It gets constricted that way. So this mudra being down here, it's a physical cue. Oh yeah, drop my energy down there. You just sort of, it's like a gravity. You just let it sink, you know, just let it drop, 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 and then there it is. So that's the placement of the mudra. And then you have this, you know, sort of egg shape, and that's a very practical thing. Because if you're really tired, you'll go like that. And if you're really tense, you'll go like that. So you just look at your mudra, not look at it, but you know, you just become aware of your mudra. And if your mudra is strong and good, no problem. If you notice it's like that, oh, I better wake up. If you notice it's like that, oh, I'd better relax. So the mudra is a very practical thing. It's not necessary, maybe it has some mystic significance, I have no idea. But the real thing about the mudra is very practical. The shape of it gives you feedback on your practice energy, and then the placement of it helps you keep your energy where it should be in your chantian. So thank you very much for your question. And that's it for questions. Thank you.